Audible Inc. presents Bad Astronomy, Misconceptions and Misuses Revealed, from Astrology to the Moon Landing Hoax. Written by Phil Plait. Narrated by Kevin Scullin.
Introduction. I love bad science fiction shows. Angry Red Planet, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, UFO, all those old TV shows and movies in black and white or living color. I grew up on them. I'd stay up late watching TV, sometimes long after my folks would normally let me. I remember clearly coming home from third grade and asking my mom for permission to watch Lost in Space. I worshiped that show. Robot, Dr. Smith, Jupiter 2 and all. I wanted to wear a velour, multicolored V-neck sweater. I had a crush on Judy Robinson, the whole 9 yards. Sure, I liked the good ones too. 5 Million Years to Earth and The Day the Earth Stood Still were favorites of mine back then, and they still are. But the important thing to me wasn't that they were good or bad, or even if they made sense. I remember an Italian flick about a voyage to Venus that might have been written by Salvador Dali on acid. What was important was that they had aliens and rocket ships. I would spend long hours as a child pretending to ride a rocket to other planets. I always knew I'd be a scientist, and I was pretty sure I wanted to be an astronomer. Those movies didn't discourage me because of their bad science, they inspired me. I didn't care that it's silly to try to blast a conventional chemical rocket to another star, or that you can't hear sounds in space. All I cared about was getting out there. And if I could do it by watching ridiculous movies, then so be it. I would have given anything, everything, to be able to step on board a spaceship and be able to see a binary star up close, or cruise through a nebula, or go out through the plane of our galaxy and see it hanging in the sky, faint, ominous, luminous, against a velvet canvas of blackness, so dark you can hardly convince yourself that your eyes are open. Nowadays, it would be a bit harder for me to give up everything to take such a ride. Maybe I would, so my daughter could, someday, but that day is not yet here. We're still stuck here on the Earth, more or less, and the only way we can see distant vistas is either vicariously through the eye of a telescope or through the eye of a movie director. One of those eyes, perhaps, is a bit more clearly focused than the other. Despite my childhood yearnings, as an adult I can wish that movies did a better job of portraying astronomy and astronomers to the public. The movies may be inspiring, which is their most important job as far as I'm concerned, but there is a downside to the bad astronomy. It muddies the distinction between fantasy and science, between what is only pretend and what can really happen. Movies can portray the make-believe so realistically that the line gets blurred. It's fair to say that most people don't understand all that much about how space travel, for example, really works. Space travel is complicated, difficult, and relies heavily on unfamiliar physics. Movies, however, make it look easy. Just get in your ship and go. All you have to do is watch out for the stray meteor shower or alien starship, and everything should work out pretty well. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way in the real universe. If it did, we'd have colonies on Mars and other planets by now. I've given talks to audiences about movies and astronomy, and the question almost always arises, why aren't we on the moon now? Why haven't we built starships, or at least colonized the solar system? Sometimes these are honest questions, and sometimes they are asked with an edge of impatience, as if the people asking the question are concerned that the National Aeronautics and Space Administration engineers aren't as up to speed as Scotty from Star Trek. The film industry makes a big impression on people, and as the scenes play over and over again, they worm their way into our brains. Movies show space travel all the time, but they show it incorrectly, and so it doesn't surprise me that the majority of the viewing public has the wrong impression about how it really works. If movies were the only purveyors of scientific inaccuracies, there would...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?